Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be profiling a Spyral Superheavy Samurai deck list that I've been just playing around with and working on for a little while. No kind of actual locals testing or anything, but definitely just like theory and just testing myself kind of thing just to see how it kind of works. But I'll get straight into the list. I'm finding this very entertaining to just muck around with. It can do some pretty funny things, and it does have some cool one-card combos with the super heavy samurais. But for the spirals, we are on the 3 super agent, 3 quick fix, 3 drones. These are all kind of the good ones. Drone and super agent allows you to, that's a combo on its own. Quick fix is just crazy to see. We've got 1 sleeper, 1 last resort. We're pretty much able to set this up every hand with the super heavy cards. So yeah, this is kind of like our primary win condition. Then we have the 3 resort, 2 big red. I really like the second one. I often search at turn 1 just as like follow up, and then 1 utility wire, and then these next 5 cards, and this is where you kind of come in as, if you're someone who maybe knows more than I do about Spyral, or more the super heavy samurai cards. I'm not sure if I want to keep these in. So at the moment I've got 3 machine duplication, 1 terraforming, and 1 1-for-1. Now Sleeper can banish the Spyral named spell traps from the graveyard. Now the super heavy samurais are only really good turn 1. That's the kind of main draw for them, is they allow you to start your combos if you have, whatever in your hand. They do 1-card combos on their own into the Spyral cards. But obviously if you've used these in your turn 1 as well, going into turn 3, the super heavy cards lose all value. I do have a set of 4 other cards that I could play in these 5-card slots. This current list is 41. My other option is to play 2 talents, 1 gamma seal, because I'm already playing 2, and 1 soul piercer. So this would allow the super heavy cards to have a little bit more value, and the talents as well really is only live once your opponent has activated monster effect, and I'm always going with the super heavy cards first. So this is only theoretical. So talents I think would potentially be live if I was going second, but it could just be something else. Could be effect value or whatever. But then having the soul piercer just means your follow-up is that little bit better with the super heavy cards, so they can still do things. So at the moment I've got these 5, but I could play these 4 and make it a 40-card list. And this would allow the super heavies to do more in turn 3. So I will leave that with you as the audience if you want to weigh in on what you think is better. These cards, pretty much, if you use any of these, the super heavy cards are dead on turn 3. But if I play these, then I get more longevity out of the super heavy cards. So that's that. I'll put them back to the side. This is the current Spyral lineup. Then for the super heavies, we're playing the 3 bike, the 3 Wakashi, the 1 Benkei, the 1 Soul Guy booster, and then currently as a little piece of follow-up, if I don't use any of the machine dupes or 1-for-1s of terraforming, I'm playing 1 scales, because in this variation of what I'm doing, Wakashi always ends up in grave, so also does the Guy booster. So scales represents a rank 4, or just 2 bodies at least, but it needs to be specifically off motorbike. If I played the Soul Piercer in the other little variant that I discussed a second ago, that would mean that I can, if Benkei is still in scale, and obviously I still need to control super heavy, that's obviously a condition, I could access this better too. This is also a card that can be pitched off quick fix and equipped via Regulus, so that's another neat little thing, but at the moment it's not in the list. Really, this probably doesn't even need to be in the list either. This is what you need, because that's 6 cards for consistency. You only need to see 1 of them, and then this is just that extra bit of follow-up if you need an extra target to search off something. Definitely comes up. It's kind of nice to have. Then I'm playing one Regulus because we search it. Then at the moment, this variation only has spots for 9 non-engine, and we can't really play the board breakers. So we're on the 3 Ash, I'm on 3 Nibiru, 2 Gameciel, 1 Didicro. So the little benefit to the other list, the other variation, is that you add in 3 more kind of non-engine slots in the 3rd Gameciel 2 talents. But you obviously lose a bit more of that ceiling by taking out the machine dupe and the consistency in terraforming. So it's debatable, but that's the current list. The extra deck, it's probably not perfect, but we are on 2 Double Helix. I'm on 1 Appaloosa, 1 Access Code Talker, 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix. All these is generic kind of links that are good. Platinum Gadget is essential for the 1-card combos. Orsa because Fenris and Earth, that's kind of cool. IP Linkuriboh. I don't know if the Linkuriboh necessarily is needed, so potentially a cuttable spot. I'm playing Merrymaker and Sargus because this allows us to access Zeus really nicely going second. It allows us to search Regulus, it's a machine, but I'm doing this instead of the Axel Stardust Synchro and Baron, because if you open the Super Heavies alongside playable Spyral, this still just searches the negate, so you still get the negate like what Baron offers you. Obviously you don't get the pop, but you can still play, you can still access Platinum Gadget with this. This is what I'm currently on at the moment, and it just allows us to make a big Zeus going second as well. So there's a little bit of crossover why I'm using this instead of the Baron. I've got Gigan X, Recital Starling, and Zeus. So that's the current extra deck. Certainly, if you think there are things that could be done better, let me know. But now I'll show you some combos because this deck is really cool. It can do some really fun, crazy things. I'll show you a 1-card combo first with the Super Heavies, and then we can do some test hands. Okay, so this is the 1-card combo. It requires the Wakaushi or the bike because the bike just searches the Wakaushi. So this sets up Sleeper Last Resort, which is really nice. So we scale Wakaushi, we use its in scale effect to place the Benkei, summon itself, and then we're going to use the Benkei effect, and we're going to grab the Soul Guide Booster. We are then going to equip the Soul Guide Booster to the Wakaushi and special summon it and overlay for Gigan X. Then we will detach off the Gigan X and we're going to search for Quick Fix as a machine. We can normal summon the Quick Fix and activate its effect. Now obviously we could have other targets in hand already, other gear cards, but the one we need for this first part is red. So we'll grab Big Red and we're going to link Quick Fix and Gigan X into our Platinum Gadget. Now, important to note, if you already have Quick Fix in this hand and you've already opened, so if you open like Quick Fix plus the Wakaushi or the bike, instead of Gigan, you would do the Sargus line, grab Regulus, and before you do anything with the Platinum Gadget, you can throw the Regulus down, equipping any of the Super Heavy cards to it. So that's where that comes up going first, but more often going second. It's just helpful to get Zeus. We're going to go Spiral Gear Big Red now, and we're going to bring back the Quick Fix. Probably not in the gadget zone, but it doesn't really matter. The Quick Fix will activate again, and we'll grab a drone, and we can Platinum Gadget, special the drone, use its effect. So now we know what our opponent has on the top of their deck. We also know what they're playing, which is always good to know as well. So having that knowledge is important. We can then link these two. That will fall off into Double Helix. We're going to activate Double Helix, and with the Double Helix, we're not going to summon, but we'll add to hand Sleeper. Now again, obviously there's going to be offshoots and variations, and that's what test hands would tell you, where if you already open Resort or Sleeper, you could summon Quick Fix, for example, a second Quick Fix, and you can just keep adding just silly amounts of cards that way. But in this bare bones combo, we obviously don't have Sleeper, so we're going to search the Sleeper with Double Helix. And then what we're going to do is we're going to summon out Quick Fix because we haven't got Last Resort yet. So what we're going to do is going to summon out the Quick Fix by discarding a card from hand, whatever that is. Quick Fix can activate now and grab the Last Resort. And then we need to link off Quick Fix and Double Helix. The Quick Fix does get banished. And really, I mean, you could link into a second Double Helix, but there's no real point to do that. I'm going to link into Orsa. Obviously, we can't link into IP because Double Helix is a link monster. Could link into Orsa though, because obviously if this gets outed, we can search nearly anything in our deck. There's a lot of things we can search. That's an Earth with 1500 or less defense. But then we can summon the Sleeper by banishing, I think we've only got 3 targets. It's the Double Helix, the Big Red, and the Drone. And again, this is just a really bare bones 1-card combo, so it's not always ideal to banish these specifically. It depends on what else is in your graveyard. But some of that, and then we're going to equip the Last Resort. We're going to keep this free just in case we have a Wakashi later to pendulum some things. But that's the 1-card combo. So what's nice is that it does obviously access the Spyral cards, which is where having something like Machine Duplication in the deck is really nice, because if you open Machine Dupe, you will most likely open up a way to abuse Machine Dupe. Obviously just turns off the super heavy cards. But in this instance, obviously we had the Gear Red, but it's now banished. So our super heavy cards are live for the next turn if we have another one. Obviously Bankei can't do anything right now because we don't have a super heavy monster, but yeah, you let me know if you think it's worth having access to the super heavies past turn 1, or just keep it as a small engine that helps you to access the Spyral cards. But yeah, in this board, obviously we've got the Sleeper that's virtually immune to everything. It does the quick effect to pop 2. Also, if it's outed, we'll search as a card and Platinum Gadget. It's just sitting there. We can't really do anything with this turn. There's cute things you could do where, back where we had the Double Helix, or at this point we could actually, overlay these into a gigantic sprite and do a full sprite combo, but I'm not adding all those extra bricks and whatnot to the deck. But look, the options are there. So that's the 1-card combo, and I'll just get into some test hands. So just while I am shuffling, what I'm generally aiming to do as far as Spyral end board goes is summon Appaloosa, just because Nibiru might be a thing, but if obviously Nibiru is not that prevalent, then what's actually probably better to do is not summon Appaloosa and actually just summon IP instead. You can still IP into Appaloosa, but it means that Double Helix gets left on board generally, which means your utility wire is live. So summoning the IP, not Appaloosa, can be better. But otherwise, what I'm generally trying to do is summon Appaloosa and then summon Sleeper, just to guarantee that that kind of all goes through. But here we go, our first hand here. Okay, so this is awesome. This actually is just a crazy hand. We can do a lot with this, having Machine Duplication, obviously. So this is no super heavy cards, but we're going to normal drone, work out what our opponent's playing. We then are able to summon the Super Agent. We've already opened the Sleeper, so that's really nice. We don't actually have to search it off of the Double Helix. So we'll just go Double Helix, summon Quick Fix. Obviously opening access to Quick Fix and Machine Duplication means we're just going to go plus 1,000,000. Quick Fix, what I'll probably just grab first is the Last Resort, just to guarantee that we, at the end of the day, have this, if nothing else. But yeah, now we can just very freely Machine Duplication and just go ham. So we get 2 Quick Fix searches. Definitely one is going to be red, and the second one probably just the utility wire for now. Obviously we still have access to just keep looping things, but what we probably want to try and do here is leave a Double Helix on board. We could even just summon Appaloosa now. Yeah, so we'll overlay these. Do we need, no, actually we're not going to lose any of these yet, so we probably don't even need to overlay them just yet. We could just go straight to Appaloosa, but what do we want to discard in our hand really? If we think about it, the Gamma Seal's fine to discard, but we kind of want to hang on to the rest of these. So the options here obviously are just go straight to Appaloosa. No, it needs a different name, so we can't actually use, so this is where we could go like a Link Haribo. And then go Appaloosa here. So we can do that pretty happily, just to play around, you know, Nibiru if that was around, if they didn't Nibiru us before that. Then from here, we can discard the Gamma Seal, summon back the Quick Fix, trigger the Quick Fix again. There's probably just grab like a drone here. The other thing we can also grab is like the second big red for next turn, because what I'm planning to do is use a big red to grab the double helix back, because that's going to represent more follow-up. We can overlay these two, grab the Recital Starling. Now, there's a few matchups where the DD Crow is not that good, so we can definitely use this as food for a Quick Fix. And that's probably what I'm going to do here, just because, oh, actually, I can use the drone as DD Crow food here as well, as Quick Fix food. So we'll do that, bring back the Quick Fix, trigger it again, because it's not once per turn. And we can this time grab the big red. So that will be our follow-up. But we're going to end with the double helix. We're going to end with the follow-up here. So from this point, what we can do is we can link these and go into an IP Massacre Brainer. We could also just link into Orsa and let it just sit there. But then what we can do is go big red, bring back double helix, like so. Obviously we can summon the sleeper. We have 1, 2, just working out the best things to get rid of here. I like having the option to have drone and agent to kind of add back the agent, but it is what it is. We're not going to have access to that at this point, so we'll just go 1, 2, and we could even just go the agent, the drone, and the 1 Quick Fix. You can tell that I did not play this deck in Spyral format. I didn't play Spyral format at all, really, but we summon the sleeper. We can equip the last resort. We can set the utility wire, which I'll leave face up, and we've got the big red and the crow. So as far as this goes, we have options kind of everywhere. So we've obviously got monsters. We've got the utility wire here. We've got the crow in hand, but also we've got the big red as the follow-up in hand as well. If the double helix survives, that also represents follow-up. Sleeper, even under Dark Ruler, the sleeper is going to hang around because it'll have the protection from the last resort, provided they don't out it still too. But yeah, so that was our first test hand, which was crazy, which obviously shows the power of machine duplication. But it does mean that the super heavy cards are all now dead. So if we were to, you know, draw into a super heavy card, which resort is not, yeah, we would have no access to the super heavies, but we would hopefully be winning with the board there. Hopefully, but no guarantee. Let's do another one. Okay, for our second test hand, we have Agent, Terraforming, Nibiru, DD Crow, and Resort. Okay, so obviously we have access to 2 resorts here, which is Sleeper plus drones. So we can use Helix to summon out the Quick Fix. So we'll go Terraforming. What's potentially better here to do, really, if we're trying to like play around things, we probably actually just go Resort first and grab drones. That way, if we were to get rolled, we could still not do a whole lot because we can't add to hand, but it just makes your options a little bit better. We can terraforming for the second resort now. But then we can, we can throw a resort over the resort. This one's going to grab sleeper. And then we're set up similar to last time, except without the machine dupe. So normal summon, we know what our opponent's playing, special summon, and go for Helix. Helix will summon the quick fix. Now this time what we will do is, we've already got access to the crow. So we probably grab we'll still definitely grab the big red, because this will allow us to extend. This quick fix is not going to get banished. We haven't brought it back yet. We do already have the 3 Spyral cards, but we can go big red and bring back something. It doesn't really matter what we bring back. Yeah, no, we're planning to make IP, although what we could do, just so it actually works out better, instead of IP, we could just go straight to Appaloosa, which would get us another search with the quick fix without this getting banished. So we could actually not use this. This was summoned. We can link this for Link Rebo. This is actually probably better. Link for Link Rebo. Big red back at the quick fix. Use it to search so we can grab last resort. It just means we're not losing the quick fix. But it also, so it gets us an extra search without us losing it. Then we can link off with the double helix this time into the Appaloosa. And then we've got sleeper, last resort there as well. Potentially there was a way to, let me rewind it a little bit and see if we can do something more interesting. So we were here, we summoned this, we searched this, we didn't make Link Haribo. Let's see if we go, no, because we don't have last resort yet, do we? No, that's what we don't have. And so I don't think we can do it this way. I was just thinking there's another way. Because if we went big red, yeah, but that gets rid of the double helix. Okay, so if we go, we might still go, oh no, that's because we want the IP. If we were to big red a monster, make IP, this is not gonna, no, this doesn't work out at all. Because then we lose a card to summon back the quick fix, which only gets us to last resort, and then we're not getting to, no. So what we did the first time was just better. So we didn't go through IP, we used all these, we had this, it was just Appaloosa, Linker was in there. Yeah, that's probably just better. Obviously resort has to shuffle something back. We've got to banish 3 for the sleeper, so we can hang on to the double helix, probably get rid of the agent in this instant. Yeah, so we ended there. We've still got Nib and Crow in hand, which are fine interruptions. Appaloosa sleeper is nice, which is what we're generally going for. What I was trying to do, if you could work that out with all of my mumbling, was potentially go sleeper IP and helix, and then if I could get 1 extra search out of the quick fix, we could have gotten to utility wire as well, which would have been the next search if we could get that far. But I couldn't quite see it there. If you could have seen it, let me know. Let's see if we can get something with the super heavies. Just not that one. All right, so this hand is a bust. The only kind of possibility to play here is hitting off of super agent. And so like calling monster and hoping for the best. But I won't play that out because there's obviously no guarantee that we call that correctly. Because obviously we'd have to go normal summon and then go with agent there. Yeah, and we've just got to hit. We've got the Regulus in hand, which is nice, but there's not really a way to make the rest of this work otherwise. Because if we get a machine, yeah, it doesn't quite work out for us in that hand. Okay, quick fix, machine duplication. Oh, it's already, no, not as ideal. We've got bike and the drone. Okay, so this is awesome. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, we'll go the bike first. Now we've already got access to the spiral thing, so we've got way to make double helix. So we definitely are going to do the Springen's kind of side of things. So we'll use Wakaushi, Benkei, summon. Benkei will search the Soul Gaia, equip the Soul Gaia, summon and overlay. That's going to give us Merrymaker and Sargus. And then before we do anything, and this one's nice because we've got the bike already in the graveyard, we can go Regulus, equip bike before we even normal summon the quick fix, just in case there was something to stop that. Probably put the Sargus in this zone because we're going to get rid of it pretty quickly. Just plays around anima, that's not going to stick around. Get the motorbike. So now we have the negate up, which is awesome. Now, do we normal the drone or the quick fix? If we normal the quick fix, we won't have, we'll normal the quick fix, yeah, because we can always platinum gadget out the drone, that's what we're doing. So we'll normal the quick fix. Obviously trigger its effect. We'll grab the gear red here. And we'll be adding sleeper, that's probably where we're going to be going here. So we'll turn those into platinum gadget. Use its effect to special out the drone, find out what our opponent is playing, then we can... No, what we should have done, and I'll backtrack it just a little bit here. That's in hand. Back to here. We could actually just machine dupe now, because that will mean we can actually just save the big red altogether. So quick fix, trigger that quick fix. We can grab the last resort. So that's on lock now as well. Machine dupes engrave, and then we can link platinum gadget, special drone, find out what our opponent is playing, but now we get to hold the big red. These will go into the helix. Trigger helix, we're going to add sleeper to the hand. Now from here, we can bring back a quick fix by discarding a quick fix. This quick fix will trigger to add us a card. Probably going to grab the utility wire here. We may not get to search D Crow. No, we will. We'll go big red, bring back a quick fix, trigger that quick fix to search for the second big red. Hold that for next turn. These can be overlaid. What do we gain by... What do we gain is that we don't lose our quick fix. So we're doing this just to not lose the quick fix, I guess. We'll lose one of them. So we'll recital styling, grab Diddy Crow. This play probably just doesn't seem worth it. But then we're going to pitch that because we'd rather just hold the cards in hand. Bring back quick fix, trigger it again to get another search. Drone is probably the only thing we can grab, so we'll grab the drone. And then we can link those off for IP We lose that quick fix, but we don't lose that one. Yeah, that's probably the way to do it. Or we could just go straight to Appaloosa, but then obviously the utility wire, that fell off a while ago. Actually, one of them was brought back off Big Red, so the recital starting play was probably just silly. Anyway, that's not the point. But we set utility wire, summon Sleeper by banishing 3. We can get rid of a Big Red. We can get rid of a Quick Fix and a Drone. Well, we get rid of Quick Fix anyway, so there we go. And we're going to equip Last Resort, and we're going to hold Drone and Big Red in hand as follow-up. So this gets us a second double Helix if this one were to get banished for whatever reason. But we can also just IP and Helix into Appaloosa, or the other thing, which is not actually in my extra deck, and tell me if you think it'd be worth it, we can actually IP into Griffin, Nightmare Griffin, which I am a huge fan of. It's one of my favorite cards. So definitely there's a world where we could go Nightmare Griffin with these two after we use the utility wire, because this is now live. So again, if we get Dark Ruled, we don't have the hand traps in hand this time, but we do have utility wire, and hopefully our Spyral Sleeper can try and survive with the Last Resort protection. But yeah, I'll leave it at that, just with a nice full board. That is the Spyral Super Heavy deck. Like I said, I think it's loads of fun, but definitely let me know if you reckon the machine duplication and the 1-for-1 is more cuttable, and the terraforming for the Talons, Gamma Seals, the Soul Piercer, just to make the Super Heavies a bit more useful. But after opening Machine Dupe up a few times, I'm probably now more leaning towards keeping the Machine Dupe, just because it's crazy. But yeah, that will do it for this video, and feel free to let me know what you think in the comments. But I'll catch you in the next one.